crazy, just to let everybody know. I just got off of a 16-hour flight from South Africa, so sorry I'm a little out there. I think we met in Tampa, Florida. You guys have been hanging out with Cage, and then we introduced the first night. We just kind of hung hard.
Yep.
Love
I remember.
it.
Yeah, was that the show where I went into your dressing room after you guys had just played, or was that the day before that? Because there was 2 Florida shows like next to each other.
Yeah, the one right after that was the one in Jacksonville, I think.
Yeah, that's when we really hung. I remember I was watching. We all went on stage and watched Manchester play, and we had, kind of met the day before, but not as hard as we were that night in Jacksonville. And they just finished playing. Everyone was going crazy. They were just walking off stage like, "Yo, what's up?" And they just grabbed me like, "Let's go." And they just brought us into their dressing room. We just hung out there for a few hours. I think Andy did for sure.
Yeah, I think we wanted to. I think we contacted Canvas back to see if that was even something that would be possible to do, for record store day. And it's well, if they wanted to. And so then we talked about immediately doing some sort of collab. And y'all were in the studio, which kind of was perfect. We were writing for our new record, and they were recording, I think, right? And
yeah, we
so,
were. Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, we were in the studio when it finally came to and finally got in motion. We had already moved into our studio where we were recording Spreading Rumours. So it actually worked out really well because all the equipment was there and everyone was there all the time together. So
yeah, I remember Christian just being we're feeling really inspired. Can you send over the files tonight? And a couple of days later, we had just this total cool mesh of our genres together. And I think Christian and I have a lot similar musical tastes as far as just for grungy, records and still with pop influence, but more where I think it's cool. Our Grouplove works, there's so many different elements to it. So I think it worked kind of for Archie Brains to get it with him doing background vocals and adding, guitars and all this nut stuff, and then all of a sudden, you add Ryan and Sean and all the maniacs in your band, and they create this beautiful, I remember I was terrified. Called Christian. I was I don't know what we're gonna do with these drops, dude. I don't I've never heard my music with this before. It was a panicky moment.
Oh yeah.
A couple nights of sleep. It was you're all right, man. Really, it's gonna be nice.
And
now I love it. Now it's so funny. Our band is it's the coolest part of the song.
That's funny, man. That's what's so cool about collaborating, because you're throwing your trust into your friends and hoping they're gonna do a good job. Just when you meet someone for the first time, and let's say you haven't seen their artwork, you haven't heard their music, but you really like them, you're fuck, man, I hope their music's good, or I hope, they do a good job with it. So I knew Manchester Orchestra never had these kind of electronic drops and stuff before, so I was kind of panicking for you, because I, like you, come from a more, grungy kind of palette, and I remember I was I wonder what Andy's going to think, I wonder what Andy's going to think.
We had written, when we started writing the new Manchester record, it was in July of last year, and we had done, 4 or 5 songs that were very bare bones. They were sort of just let's record them well. We did it the wrong way, basically. We recorded the stuff first really well to see if it worked, and then that didn't end up working because we needed to actually work on the songs before we recorded them well. So we had just this 2-minute long song with not even complete vocals, with pretty well recorded drums, 1 rhythm guitar track, 1 lead guitar track, bass, and that was it. And then when we decided, I sent it over to Christian, he dug it, so I finished my lead vocal other than the second verse, and they liked it, and we knew it needed some other things to make it a substantial. It was more a thought, like a 2-minute long, really kind of cute rock song. And so then we sent it over to them, and you can take it from there.
Yeah, I remember first getting it in the car and just being super excited to hear it, because I'm a huge fan of Manchester to begin with. So to me, it was it was just kind of a shorter kind of song, I guess. You said it was 2 minutes, but to me, I was man, this is already kind of complete in this weird way because I've never done anything like this before. So it was kind of like hard to wrap my head around like what to do, and that's where Ryan came in, and he really like opened up the box and opened up all our eyes by messing around with those drops, the electronic drops to put in, and I was like, oh wow, and it was just like super cool to hear that. But I've been trying to write a bunch of like other guitar parts, like a bridge, because I remember Steve like, let's make it, it's too short, we got to make it longer, but it just felt like it was kind of like along the same lines, and we wanted to come from a whole other kind of angle from it, and that's where Ryan really opened it up. But it was really
like Hannah's vocals, and then like the acoustic guitar stuff that was added, and then like even like the lead piano or keyboard line at the beginning, like that wasn't there before. And so it's like, and that was what I thought was really cool, was that they were, Christian sings like this gnarly background vocal when I'm singing a lead, and then he does the lead vocals for the second verse, and then the way at the end it like drops back and we add the original drums with the drop. Like, you guys did a lot of cool editing with like repeating the phrases again, by just copying and pasting and like doing, repetitious stuff. And I mean, it's really cool when we got their files back and got to sit with them all, and when we mixed it, we were able to like really hear all the detailed stuff to it. I think that was a really cool part of it too.
It's really fun to, when you're listening to it, especially like Hannah's voice, to hear Hannah and Andy like at the end doing that round thing. We were sure how to go with the round, and Andrew Wesson, he's like, why don't we try a round or something like that? And then they like, Andy just said we started copying and pasting and stuff, and hearing that, like, it was so cool to hear the interaction between Andy and hearing a girl's voice sing with Andy. I never heard that before. And it was also really fun for myself to sing with Andy and like take the verse, and it's like, oh, it's like this awesome like tag team like on kind of thing, and then to harmonize with Andy too in the chorus was just so much fun. And then listening back was like, wow, we actually did this. This is like, we made friends last year, and now we're listening to each other on like a vinyl record, and like at a record store day. I was like, wow, it's really cool. It
was really wild to hear it on the radio for the first time, because it was such like kind of an idea, and to see it come to fruition was definitely pretty sweet.
I guess I've never really spoken to Andy about this face to face, but I just, we had finished the song pretty much everything we thought we could do, and then, Sean's been supportive the whole time. Sean didn't play bass or anything because the bass was already done, and he just like comes out of the back of the room after listening to it. He's like, "Wait a minute, I got an idea. I got this great idea. You gotta just let me roll with it. I'm not gonna tell you what I'm doing." He's like, "Just record. I'm going in the booth." And we're like, "All right, man, let's go." Yeah. And then we're listening like, the song's like 4 minutes now, and then we're like, what's he gonna do? It's almost over, and then he just is like, and he comes with the I'm levitating part. And just like amazed how awesome it was. And then Andy, I never got to ask you what your guys' reaction was when all this. You're like, what?
Well, all right. So I had two different reactions to a short term, and then after I've been able to think about it. I think after I was able to think about it, it was really cool because the song's about a guy that's like dying in a car accident, and it's saying that like the person can't make it to them, and I like the end of the song that he's going to heaven by saying I'm levitating. I thought that was really sweet. The first time I heard it, the band was like I think we just was like, oh my god, because we've gotten to spend time with this dude. So we understood how absolutely incredible that was. I mean, it was like a no-brainer that has to be in this song.
Yeah.
And it's cool, too, the way the voice, like, keeps, like, doubling and...
I'm